Just moments ago, it was officially confirmed that Elon Musk successfully purchased Twitter for $44 billion. What freedom-loving people everywhere are calling a win for free speech. Let's dive into it. Elon's base twats. All right, so let's pick it up where we left off with our last episode of Elon's base twats. Elon had just offered to purchase the company at $54.20 per share. Just got to get that 420 in there, right? But then the upper brass on the Twitter board responded with a thing called a poison pill, basically watering down the price of shares so more people besides Elon can buy them, thus making it too difficult, too pricey to purchase Twitter like Elon was trying to do. But then Elon went ahead and actually acquired $46 billion in funding. He went to banks, besides those who are already invested in Twitter, so he could get the funds to do this. And by doing so, gave an incentive to investors to pressure the board to accept his offer, which they did just today. So Elon Musk officially owns Twitter and he's taking it private. The deal is worth $44 billion, and those of you who currently own shares will receive $54.20 for each of the shares you own. If you watched my live video today of the X1 splashdown, I read out loud Elon's last twat that he did, quote, "I hope that even my most worst critics remain on Twitter because that's what free speech means." And it was at this time that I got it in my mind that this is when the deal was actually finalized behind the scenes, but it wasn't made public until a few hours later. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Cancel culture is what this has all been about. And of course, those on the progressive left, being the deceitful progressives that they are, participating in doublespeak. It's almost like they read the book 1984 and was like, that's a good idea. Let's do that. They're actually calling Elon's takeover of Twitter a threat to free speech, if you can believe it. It's Twitter who banned the president of the United States for, I guess, inciting a riot on January 6th, which he didn't if you actually listen to his speech. However, it was the progressives on the left during the Summer of Love, during the BLM riots and Antifa riots that were burning down cities, $2 billion worth of damage, over 26 people dead. Well, those politicians on the left bailed out the arsonists out of jail, cash bond, and yet they were still allowed to remain on the platform. They actually incited the riots if you listen to their speeches. Now, I'm not calling for them to be banned off social media, but what I am calling for and have been calling for, and what those on the right have been calling for, is a little bit of consistency and getting rid of that hypocrisy there. I mean, you have Hezbollah, you have Hamas on Twitter. I mean, they've even allowed Vladimir Putin to stay on the platform. That's how much they hate Donald Trump. They will not think twice about banning or shadow banning or ghosting anyone on the right for any reason at all, just because they don't agree with the narrative at the time. The Hunter Biden laptop story, don't even get me started on the vaccines and how effective they are. But even doxing, for example. So this Taylor Lorenz chick, who is a journalist for Jeffy Bezos' Washington Post, a couple weeks ago just broke down in fake progressive tears because she was a victim of just online hate from the right and doxing. And you know, it's just such a tragedy, guys. But that's exactly how she has made her career, by doing those things that she is now a victim of. But what really made her infamous as of late was about a week and a half, 2 weeks after her fake tears in this interview she did, she actually had the nerve to go to the family, not the person herself, but the family of the woman who started the Libs of TikTok social media account. She went to this woman's family to find more information about her and dox her. The very thing that she was so upset about happening to her. And if you're not aware, Libs of TikTok is just a social media site that's dedicated to publishing or further sharing these TikTok videos of woke progressive individuals who put themselves on camera, spout their insane beliefs, and then this woman doesn't edit them or anything, just puts them up on her social media site so other people can laugh at the absurdness of it. Taylor Lorenz doxed her, had her social media shut down on Twitter, and apparently doxing is against the rules and gets you banned yourself. But of course, that doesn't happen to people on the left like Taylor. And of course, let's not forget that Twitter blocked the dissemination of the Hunter Biden laptop story, claiming it was both Russian disinformation, but also Hunter's stolen laptop. So you can't share that. But of course, it had no qualms allowing its users to share the tax documents of Donald Trump. You know, in order to get as much information on both sides of the Ukraine-Russia war, I like to follow both accounts that are pro-Ukraine and pro-Russia. And you know, the one pattern I've seen is that the pro-Ukraine channels have never been banned. None of them have been taken off social media, but the pro-Russia ones have. But whenever one of these pro-Russia sites gets banned, what I see on these pro-Ukraine sites is them gloating and celebrating over it. They'll share the banned screenshot of these pro-Russia accounts, and they'll say, yeah, win for freedom or whatever. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, you hate fascism so much. You hate these Russian fascists that are going at these poor Ukrainians, and they are. but you're gonna celebrate cancel culture, you're gonna celebrate censorship, something that fascists do. I think they don't realize how much in common they actually have with Vladimir Putin. But it's great because now that Elon's at the helm, we can see things start to turn to normalcy the way they should be. And the victims on the left who are screaming in agony right now, who don't like what's happening, can go start their own platform. CNN just did it with CNN Plus. Of course, it only lasted like 3.5 weeks. So knowing who Elon is and what he believes, we can expect Donald Trump to return to Twitter if he so chooses. The thing is, he probably won't because he now has Truth Social, which I will join as well as soon as it's opened up to Android users. And other big news concerning Truth Social is that they have now joined the Rumble cloud. So we have actually started seeing the meshing of these two alternative social media sites, which is a win for freedom. But I'll be getting back on Twitter as soon as Elon starts cleaning house and making the changes he's promised. I'll probably even support him financially and support the site by verifying my account. Anybody will be able to do that once he gets that whole thing in place. But again, yeah, I will definitely also be on Truth Social, and I will always have my locals account for those of you who want to support what I do. But this deal has freaked out the progressive left because they can feel their power slipping through their fingers. This was like one of the last remaining bastions of power control that they had over the internet. They were losing it with the media. The media has lost all credibility and respect in the realm of public opinion. And the one thing they could control the narrative on, though, was these social media platforms like Twitter. So now, pro-free speech absolutist is at the helm in control, piloting this ship. What are we gonna do? I just can't stress it enough how much of a huge win this is for liberty. Anyway, let's move on to our next Elon's Base Twat segment. And this one's really good because he goes hard in a funny way after Bill Gates. And I really do hope that this is foreshadowing of more of what we can expect from Mr. Musk now that he's the boss of Twitter Town. And it starts with some leaked text messages between Elon and Bill Gates, which Elon did confirm that he didn't leak them, but they are real. I guess Bill wanted to meet up with Elon to discuss philanthropy possibilities. And I guess after Bill was ready to meet with Elon after he landed at an airport or something, Elon just wanted to quickly confirm if Bill was still holding short positions against Tesla. And, Gates responded, "Sorry to say I haven't closed it out." Elon going, "Well, I'm sorry, but I cannot take your philanthropy on climate change seriously, super ethereal, when you have a massive shortage position against Tesla, the company doing the most to solve climate change." And then he tweeted this picture, following it up with a dig with his future company. And along with that topic, Elon briefly touches on ESG ratings again, saying that they make no sense to him. And this is a screenshot of Tesla's ESG score, which isn't very good, and Shell, the oil company's ESG score, which is better than Tesla's. And obviously this has Elon confused. He said over the past couple months that ESGs make no sense, which stand for environmental social governance, or corporate governance. And the reason why he's so confused is because he's only focusing on the E part of ESG, the environmental. There's still two more factors to it. You got the social and the governance. Now, I don't know how Tesla's run, how many minorities they have on their boards or working for them. But as far as the social part goes, we know Elon's not woke. He is very adamantly not woke. He has gone after woke people before, and it's been awesome. So that's why I believe his company scores are down, because they're not unionized. They won't play ball with these PC woke entities and the bureaucratic system. And that includes the big banks who make these ESG scores. I mean, you could build an ammo factory, right? And you could make it all carbon-free emissions. You could even replace the gunpowder with something that explodes more cleanly, and you'd still get a low ESG score because of the S. And the weird thing is, and this is why people like Elon are so confused by ESG, is because it actually doesn't even have anything to do with the E, S, or G. It's all about compliance. And that's why I compare it more to a Chinese social credit system. It's all about following the arbitrary rules of those in power just so you can prove that you're willing to comply with their mandates. But that's going to wrap it up here, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's great news. I'm glad I got to share it with you. And until our next one, Godspeed.